Hello, this is your hillbilly historian coming to you here on a hot 90-degree August day. Today's the 17th of August, 2026. Coming to you from the hills of East Tennessee and Appalachia, where common sense, integrity, truth, justice, and the American way reigns every day. We control modern humanity's thoughts here in this hillbilly area of Tennessee. Today, boy, it's going to be a hot one, a scorcher. But only 2 weeks till football kickoff. And we love our football here in the hills of Appalachia. And believe me, we have some great coaches and some great players. But anyway, today I want to talk about an actor you may never have heard of. But I guarantee you, if you look into it, you'll find that he was one of the greatest actors Hollywood ever produced. And that's a guy by the name of Warren Oates. Oates, Warren Oates. He was a great actor. He wasn't a star. The Hollywood system had the star thing where all the studios wanted to have stars. They thought stars sold tickets. It wasn't stars that sold tickets, it was a story. Remember Rocky? Remember Star Wars? Remember those when they were making garbage movies? You know, they didn't know how to entertain. Spielberg and Lucas taught Hollywood that entertainment is the key. Make a movie that entertains somebody, they'll go buy a ticket and go see it. You know, you can't just put Betty Davis out there in a piece of trash and people buy tickets, you know, because they don't want to see trash. They want to see a good story. They want to be entertained. And Spielberg was hated in Hollywood for that. And he had a lot of movies that should have won a whole lot of Oscars. But Hollywood kind of blacklisted him because they just didn't like the fact that he knew how to entertain people. He could take a mediocre story and make a great story out of it. Remember Sugarland Express? That was a garbage story. If you read the outline of the story, you'd say, hell, I don't want to make that damn movie. That ain't going anywhere. Spielberg took that movie, took second-rate actors like Ben Johnson and people, you know, that were in it, and made a damn great movie out of it. Entertaining movie. You know, something people spend money to go see and get enjoyment from watching it. And Hollywood had that star system. They had people couldn't act their way out of a paper bag. Like Peter Fonda. Warren Oates carried Peter Fonda for years. If it hadn't been for Warren Oates in them Peter Fonda movies, there wouldn't have been anything. Peter Fonda couldn't act, just like William Holden couldn't act. Why they put him in Bridge on the River Kwai, I'll never know, except Hollywood star system. They had to have somebody like that in it. But he couldn't act his way out of a paper bag. Gary Cooper couldn't act out his way out of a paper bag. James Garner couldn't act. He wasn't no damn actor. He just went through a scene, no acting to it. He just went through it, just being himself. Where other actors had to prop him up. Good actors. And that's kind of the way Hollywood worked. You know, you had guys like Gabby Hayes he could act, but they didn't want to make a star out of him. They made a star out of John Wayne, Roy Rogers, Gene Autry, Gabby Hayes had to play backup in every one of them damn movies. You know, he never was a star. Uh, you know, and that's the way Hollywood was. They they promoted what they call the star system. Didn't matter whether they could act or not. You know, now some of them did learn to act a little bit, and sometimes they pulled a role out of their ass. You know, and won an Oscar like Burt Lancaster and when he played Elmer Gantry, you know, and stuff like that. But Warren Oates, he carried the Wild Bunch. You know, Ernest Borgnine helped carry it. William Holden was in it. He didn't do crap. He was just there. You know, he was one of the Hollywood creations of what they thought a star ought to be, but he couldn't act. But Warren Oates and Ernest Borgnine and the rest of that crew carried that movie, The Wild Bunch. And of course the director had made a good story out of it, and it came out real well. But William Holden didn't do crap in that movie. You know, that's kind of the way it was. Now David Lean, he was a great director. He saw the value in Omar Sharif and saw how well he acted and used him. Made Anthony Quinn, turned him into a good actor. And always, those British actors around David Lean always did a great job. And then he came up with Peter O'Toole and made a great man out of him. But Warren Oates, he got a couple of starring roles where he was the lead actor, lead character, but and he did a great job with them. I still think his role as Dillinger that he made with Ben Johnson was one of the greatest gangster movies ever made. Dillinger. Go back and watch Warren Oates as John Dillinger and Ben Johnson as the FBI agent. And go back and watch that and tell me if Warren Oates didn't make that movie a treasure. He really knew how to act. And he just really dominated the scene when they let him, and with his acting. He was really great. Warren Oates, he carried Peter Fonda for years and years. Peter Fonda couldn't act his way out of a paper bag. He was terrible. But, hey, you know, Warren Oates carried him. Made the movies interesting enough to watch. And then when he got starring roles like John Dillinger and a couple more movies he starred in, he made the most out of them. He really would give you a good role as an actor. Warren Oates. You go back and research him. Watch some of his old movies on YouTube. See if you don't think he was one of the best actors that ever came out of Hollywood. But they've never honored him as a great actor, and they should. They should give him some kind of posthumous award for being such a great actor and doing the great jobs that he did. Because men like that are the ones that made Hollywood. They were really, really good actors, and they carried a lot of these people that couldn't act worth a hoot. And but Hollywood thought they were stars, and and there was a lot of these really good actors in Hollywood that was really resentful over how they were treated. Gabby Hayes was one of them. George Hayes was his name, and and he was one of them. He was really upset with the way Hollywood treated him, and that he had to play backup to people that couldn't even act. you know, and but they had that star over their head. They were promoted as stars, not actors, stars, because Hollywood thought that you'd buy their tickets anyway, you know, and they made a lot of garbage movies. Uh, and a lot of those old movies, especially those old Gabby Hayes movies, are being really shown a lot on YouTube and places like that. There's westerns on the web that's really preserving these old westerns, which they should be. And great actors like Gabby Hayes are being preserved. Thank God for these people that do this. But anyway, this is your hillbilly historian telling you that Warren Oates was one of the greatest actors that came out of Hollywood. Now that's an opinion. That's my opinion. But you'll have to make up your own mind about all that. You know. So anyway, this is your hillbilly historian coming to you on a hot August day here in 2026. And it ain't got a damn thing to do with global warming. It's just like it was when I was a child. Summers were hot as hell. Winters were cold as hell. And by God, we learned to survive in both of them. You know? Besides, if the world gets a little warmer, that's all right. You know, when the world was ice cold, we had the Ice Age, humanity dropped down to about 1,200 people. Would you believe that? We came within 1,200 people of becoming extinct. And today, with a warmer globe, warmer planet, we got almost 8 billion people on this planet. Tell me global warming is bad. Anybody that says that's a dumbass, dumb shit, and can kiss my grits. But anyway, this is your hillbilly historian trying to bring you some common sense, truth, integrity, justice, and the American way from the hills of East Tennessee here in Appalachia. You have a good one.